What's the best way for me to take my pension income? That's a really common question that we get asked an awful lot. Am I better off taking as much income and a smaller lump sum? Am I better off with a bigger lump sum and less income? Do I take it at 67? Do I take it at 65, 60, 55 even? There's a whole different range of options. And it comes down really to what's going to give the most meaning to you. What's going to give the most flexibility and enable you to do all the things that you want to. But there are a few things to be mindful of. And with the help of a couple of examples from some of my clients, I hope to show them to you now. Now, the first person I came across was a lady who spent all her career in the banking sector. And so when she was coming to decide what she was going to take for her pension from the bank final salary pension scheme, she had based that on receiving £1,500 a month. That's great from age 60 till 67. But what happens at age 67? Well, she receives her state pension, which all of a sudden gives her another surge in income. But in the meantime, in those early years, she was perhaps sacrificing what she could choose to do. So after a bit of consideration, discussion and understanding what was really important, things like she wanted to fly to Australia at least once a year to spend time with her sister. She wanted a new car straight away. She wanted another one in 10 years' time. We then figured out, well, actually, we're better off taking a lump sum, having a little bit less income, but using that lump sum to do the things she really wanted to and maybe supplement the income, knowing full well that when we got to age 67, there was plenty of income on a monthly basis and she still had some capital left as well. That just for her created a huge amount of freedom and comfort. It was an absolute joy to be part of that conversation. And I've just got to tell you about my client who I spent some time with at this weekend. He opened the door to me, it was a lovely sunny day, beaming all over his face, the most relaxed, at ease person you could possibly meet. And that's a far cry from how he was a month before, when I encountered somebody who was full of anxiety, stress, the strain, the burden of working. He was working in London, a very well-paid job, but on a Thursday evening he would drive all the way down the M4, the M5, the A30, all the way down to deepest, darkest Cornwall to spend the weekend with his family, which he absolutely loved. On Sunday evening he had to make the return journey all the way back up the A30, the M5, the M4 into London, and there he would be working all hours for the next 4 days. And he turned to me and said, actually the opening part of the discussion was, I cannot keep doing this for another 5 years until I reach 60. What am I to do? And actually we had a look at some of his financial arrangements and a pension in particular, and found that instead of when he thought he was planning to draw it at age 60, by taking it at 55, it suddenly gave him a lot of freedom and a lot of options. But most of all, it released him from those hours, that commute, those expenses, from the unhappiness. And now he can look at an absolute wonderful future, knowing he's going to be spending his time and his efforts where he really is valued and where he's really loved. And that's at home. And so we can see from all of this that there's two big lessons that we can learn. In the first case, it's somebody thinking they need to set their income now, but then realising that all of a sudden later in life they're going to have more income than perhaps they need. And in the other example, it just shows that sometimes reframing the way we look at stuff, changing how we plan to draw our benefits, can bring life and happiness a lot closer, a lot sooner.